Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name's Electra. I'm your autistic tarot card reader for today. I just want to say someone has hacked my phone and my laptop. Things are going to have been reported and to the police and to cybercrimes, etc., etc. And whoever it is, please, I'm going to from now on start to say what my titles will be. I just went into my Facebook and someone changed one of the something I wrote about on a title, and it was made me feel really sick. It was really upsetting for me personally. So but all these things will be fixed in a few days. But at the present moment, if these things are happening, or if you notice anything that doesn't feel normal or seem unnormal, please please somehow either report it to Facebook, but I don't always let people into my sort of realm of things, but report it to Facebook or something. But so this will be just a very short reading, 3 minutes. It's a really beautiful reading too. I have got out that someone who's going to get together. So it's a man or a woman, and either both or one has children, has a few children, and different children to different people. And these people are going to get together, and there's much happiness. There's also a lot of so between both of you, there's no worry about monetary finances, like you're not going to be struggling. And if you have been struggling, you're going to be with someone who is going to be made a lot easier. So there's going to be someone who has a bit of comfortability, and there's someone who helps, who likes helping, who likes caring, who likes being a supportive person, of being with someone in a relationship, being a provider, and also someone who, if they want to work, they can work, or they don't have to work. This is up to how you feel in yourself. But this is somebody who's coming together. But these two people really love each other. There's something really beautiful about children together within them. And the person, I see a female who loves children. I don't know if they're a school teacher, or like children, or like teaching children, or like teaching children about something, but I get some form of a teaching element, or something to do with wanting to teach children or help children, or they love children. And the man's a very very strong-willed man, very successful. So I'm just looking, I'm going to go just over 3 minutes. So this is a short, but it'll go just over 3 minutes, so you will have to click for the longer reading. There is this person, and they are a very successful, loving, strong man. They are someone who has worked very hard for what they've got. They haven't just had, I mean, some things may have happened in their life, but they have worked really hard for what they've got, and they continue to work really hard for what they have and what they've got. And they've learned a lot of lessons in their life from what has happened throughout their life system and what has occurred, and from the positives and the negatives in life, they're actually learning and have been learning. Both the female and the male together are going to come together. I'm going to show you the card. It's a beautiful card, but it also shows a sigh of relief, and there's also someone between both of you who there's a love bond with, like a bridge. I don't know if you live similarly in a different state or in a different country, but there's like a bridge between you both. There's like a bridge, like a sonic boom, sort of like you hear the sonic boom before you, hold on, you hear the sonic boom after you see the rocket. If you understand what I mean. I have dyslexia and autism, and sometimes I'm not the greatest with explanations of things, and I don't know a lot about so many things I could know more about. But this is like you're going to feel the emotion and the emotions between you both, and it's more coming from, it's like you see each other, but you're not really physically seeing each other, if that is to be understood. I'm just going to go into this next card here. So this is also someone who's gone through quite a lot as well, and there's someone who's been through a lot of emotional things. I've also had some loss in their life as well, and in that loss in their life, it's been a very difficult time. There was a time in their life where something happened and there was a loss after a 3.5 or 4 months period. There was some form of loss that was an extreme impact on that person's life and changed their probability of how they saw life and perspective and things, and it was hard for them to compute everything that was going on in their mind. Where I get the 3 to 4 months is it's a 4 of cups, but I'm saying 3.5. So there's some form of loss, and in that some form of loss, it was a lot of there was some form of tragedy, and but from that, other things propelled into your life that probably would not have taken place if this hadn't have happened. I have, for someone out there, I like cars. I love cars, and I keep seeing Henry Ford and Henry Ford's production line. So I don't know if you're someone who studies things to do with like Henry Ford's production line and things like that, or if you study Elon Musk's form of business model, and maybe to do with Tesla. But I keep seeing cars on a production line keep going, and I keep seeing tires and the cars going and being put together. And it's someone who's very intelligent, very creative, very mindful, and it's someone who is more intelligent than what they give themselves credit for, and they're a very strong-willed person, but they are very intelligent themselves. If someone says something to them, they do think, and they think, I don't know if that is actually right. It doesn't matter who that person is in that high chair or low chair or wherever they are sitting personally in a structure of corporate business or wherever it may be. They think and they realize like that, I don't really know if I agree with that, you're right with that. And they've got like a brain for themselves to think. They're not part of the collaboration of one thought and everyone attunes to that one person's thought. So I have a mother and a father. I have someone who has a mum and a dad, and the dad is far, far away. The mother is someone who's light and spiritual and beautiful and kind and caring. The man is the husband. The father was someone who's like, this person's come before in my card, I know it, is like some ogre man who lived under the bridge, and he's someone who negativity occasionally talks about positivity, but created such negativity that it was very hard for this person in their life to get positivity in their life from all the things that had happened and been created. But we can, and you can, change those things in life, and it's how you look out at things and see things and change things, and you can make those changes positive and possible for you. You don't have to delve into a similar thought process as what someone else did from their mindset, because you have so much light around you, where you have a beautiful mother, and this mother is someone, I feel this mother is present, and this mother, and it's the same lady I get a lot, and she wears like light blue and a light tiny powdery light sort of peanut purpley, not purpley, like a lilac-y color, like lilac. I love lilac. I love the flower. It has flowers, lilac. And it's like a lilac-y color. And lilac, I don't know if the flowers, it's I also get like this person's a very gentle person, a very gentle soul, a very kind soul, a very gentle soul, but doesn't ask for much. They have strengths within themselves and are really independent. And this lady or this woman who's coming into your life is a very independent woman. And this man who's coming into your life, if it's vice versa sex who's watching this, they're going to be a very independent person, someone who doesn't need to have everything. They might need certain things, help with certain things, and that's fair enough, but they are okay to be by themselves. They don't need to always have somebody there, or they don't always have to go out somewhere and have another person with them when they go out, or go out and have to talk on the phone for comfort to support themselves, which is actually a really good tactic if you struggle with agoraphobia. Is you can start off by going out and have someone to talk to you, even if it's an AI model, and have some confidence, and that can help you get out there into the world and help get over agoraphobia as well, which hopefully I'll talk about later. I'll get into something like that. I'm going to go into another card, then we'll stop. Okay, that card came very quickly. The Wheel of Fortune. There's lots of things taking place. I feel we have somebody who's in their life, and they're at a time in their life where they're thinking, this is a time in my life where I need to be changing my life and changing what's going on, and I need to, retirement is something that may come up as a thought or a process for someone's life. This person's not wanting to retire, not retire early, and not retire when they're younger. This is someone who wants to get there and put in the effort, and why they can within themselves keep doing what they did. Similarly, I just want to mention this, Chanel, who actually, you know, the creator of the perfume, and she made garments and things like that. A lot of people don't know she lived in an orphanage, and she was a very, very poor child, and she lived in an orphanage. She didn't tell people that when she was getting her business together, but she created things, and she kept believing she could do it, and she kept going further and further and believing she could do it, and she worked right up to the last day she died, continued working. This is someone who's working, but this is someone who's also getting there and realizing they do have to separate things. So we do have to have time for family. You do have to have time for things in office that you do. You do have to have time for little things that you do that are good for you and good for your soul. But you also need to look after yourself, which I feel you're doing, and start eating properly, which I also feel you're doing, and start caring about what you're putting in your body, which I also believe and see that you are doing as well. And congratulations, you're doing a wonderful, wonderful thing to help you and yourself in your life at the present moment. One last card. Sorry, sometimes when I'm on a roll, and that's when I work the best. Okay, so I do have I was just thinking, should I displace this card? It's not a bad card. I've been watching too many Rocket. I like rockets and things like that. Been watching too many YouTube channel things, and sometimes I must pick up things I'm drawn to. But I am going to say no, this is coming into something else. I'm getting so this is to do with someone who is on the run, and I'm going to say this. There's two pillars to describe it. One side, one another side, and they're like stone pillars or rock pillars or stone pillars. And I've just got that as reference point, and I've got that as a reference point, and two people know something, one person in particular knows something, and referencing that, and I get around 1800, which is 16, 17, which is around 6 o'clock. So I've got 6 o'clock either in the morning or 6 o'clock at night is going to come to some fruition of something for somebody. There's someone out there who has been very foolish in business, very foolish, doing something very foolish they believe was right and it was wrong. And they were very, very foolish. And they nearly dropped somebody literally over the cliff, and their life over the cliff. So there was someone out there in business who was being very, very foolish, and someone was trying to alert them. You might not be right with this, you might actually be wrong. And this person just didn't want to believe. They kept going on with what everybody else was saying and believing it. And I think they've realized that they probably should have stuck to their guns in the beginning and realized that they were right and that these other people were wrong for what they were saying. And so someone's been very foolish and made a foolish decision which could have ended somebody's life. That has now been resolved, but that person still has to look at themselves in the mirror and face themselves for what they have done to someone and someone's life, and the pain and the basic torture through other people of what they've put themselves through, and they need to look at themselves, and they will be looking at themselves in the mirror and realizing what they've done. Last card I'm going to get from this pack here. This is my happier pack. someone's contemplating. So we've got someone who's contemplating whether to go. It's like visiting a village, like a little tiny village. Someone's visiting it. It's near the sea, near the water, near the sea, and they get something about Dutch, Holland Dutch, like little shoes, Dutch Holland shoes, something to do with like windmills. But I don't. It's not in Holland. It's not in Holland. So this reference will be to that person. That person will know what I am saying and what I mean. But I keep getting like a little Dutch Holland shoe, and like little windmill things. But it's near the sea, and this person is thinking whether they should go or not go, or go or not go. What should they do? And the only person who can decide that is not a tarot card reader, is themselves. And it's up for that person to decide, is it worth for you to do that? And if you do go and do that, then do that in a very small town. Yes, you can do that, but go at a time when you will feel that you're going to be able to, number one, you've got to blend in. Don't know why I'm saying this, but you will know. Blend in. Number two is try and know things about the place or city before you get there. So if you're enveloped in communication and talking, you can talk about things, and so you don't sound like you're some traveler or a foreigner that doesn't know anything. Because I feel for some reason you don't want to be exposed for who you are or what you are, or for you just want to go somewhere and be able to go somewhere and feel remotely that you can just be somewhere and someone doesn't really know that you're there, if that makes sense. But it's up to you to decide what you want to do and how you want to go about it, and make a plan. Everything is good in life if you make a plan. Make a plan, work out what you want to do, and do you want to do that or do you not want to do that, and choose what you do. And go there with, just don't go there with a hope of what you want to happen. Go there with just, how does it turn out? And at the end of the day, maybe someone's going to meet or see, or that there is someone maybe that they might want to see or hope to see, or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, it could be a really great, beautiful friendship that you have between somebody, which would be wonderful. But it may even be more. But you don't know till you're there to know what you want to do. But just make sure you make the right decision that you want to make. And if you're seeing somebody for a particular reason, tell them the reason so they know. Because sometimes it's like tarot card readers, people come and sit down and they feel like, sometimes people come and they see me and they sit down and they say nothing, and they think I know who they are and who the spirit is that's come with them, and what's going to be said. And sometimes that is not the case. Sometimes because I spiritually find it sometimes it's emotionally hard for me with things compared to most other readers. And sometimes, not all, but you can get lovely spirits who don't want to upset you as a reader, and they won't come unless that person's asking for that, verbally asking, because you're between 1 and 2 people. And some people are amazing, amazing, and they are. I'm just your average tarot card reader. But with how I work, because I have different communications, how I am, is that sometimes I like people to, I'll say things, but I also appreciate when people, especially when I do the expos, because it's only 25 minutes, and in 25 minutes you've got 25 minutes to do the reading, and I get booked by my manager. And when I get booked by my manager, they book me in, and then you have to have a break, which I don't have a break because because of my chronic fatigue. I go and then I just drop. So but what it is they have to book you in certain times. If you go to someone and they're not at an expo, they normally don't have a manager that's monitoring them. So depending on where you go, I bet our times are monitored, so we have to keep to a schedule with people. And the most important thing is probably saying to people, we only have 25 minutes, and what questions would you like me to ask? And then you do the whole 25 minutes, and I'll be like, just whatever you get. And then at the end of the 25 minutes, and I will say to them, I hope I've helped answer the questions that you've needed. Sometimes they'll say, I wish I had have heard from this person or that person. And there's another other person who's standing and waiting. And a lot of the times I'll continue doing my readings for sometimes 40 minutes, 50 minutes. And I get in really bad trouble from my manager for that, because it's $75 for 25 minutes. And people, that's a lot of money for people to pay. And sometimes people have come in on their lunch break to have a reading, or in a break, or have children to pick up, and there's other people with other lives that they've got to do. And I've now realized to learn that I have to ask people to say what they see. But there's some people that I can't do readings with, and I know that I'm not meant to, and then I'll run after them and say, someone's told me to tell you this and this, but I wasn't meant to sit down and do a sit-down reading with them, and they'll just want to see me, but I'll know that they're meant to hear this and this, and I've felt not to do the sit-down reading, but just run up and I'll just tell them that. But for people out there who do go and see readers, just remember, tell them, because most people think you should know what I want, you should know what I see, you should know what's coming through, you should know. And some people do know, some people can know, and I've done that too sometimes. But sometimes, like, there's blocks, and sometimes people are meant to also go to different readers as well, and sometimes things come across when they're meant to come across, how they're meant to come across in that area, because you as a reader, as a vessel, as a reader, can only give things at the time that you can, with what emotional stuff you're dealing with in your life too. And so sometimes a lot of the spirits are very respectful with how they know what you're going through that the other person doesn't know about, but they also know the other person wants to hear things. But if you're suffering with something, sometimes other readers can bring it through a lot easier, because it's easier for them in a different way. I hope that helps somebody. Anyway, my name's Electra. I'm going to do one last card. Oh God, I always end on this card. I'm going to buy a card shuffler, because I can't shuffle cards because of my autism. Always get this card. Always get this card. It's like being in outer space and looking back at the earth, and that amazing picture of the earth, and one of the first images of earth and everything like that. But I also get spiritually, remember to be kind to yourself. Remember to love who you are as a person. See the beauty and the kindness that is within you, around you, and comes from you. Be kind to other people, and remember, you don't know. I know I'm reading that from here, but that's part of my ending speech. You don't know what anybody else is going through in this world either. You just don't know. And you don't know if the next person who comes and sees you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you bump into, or you sit down and you see them having a coffee, you don't know if they've just lost, a mother, a brother, a sister, a daughter, a son. You just don't know. So try and be kind to yourself and to each other. And if you're going through loss, in my heart, I send you protection and love, and I ask God to protect and look after you. My name's Electra. If you're a Sai Baba devotee, Sai Ram. Be good, see good, do good, and right action always. And remember, be kind and loving to people, and always do the right thing. God bless.